Let's start with Padre baseball, not Padre baseball on the field, Padre baseball in the clubhouse, because we've been talking about this and now it's really bubbled to the surface. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, we've all been trying to figure out why the Padres have been playing so poorly. And then Kevin Acee comes out with this article, or is it a hit piece, trying to explain it. I'm very interested in your insight on this, Hacksaw.
The question is lack of leadership, culture in the Padres clubhouse. UT did an in-depth evaluation, anonymous quotes from 8 different players. I don't think it was a hit job. I just tend to think it was detailing what needed to be said. Amongst the quotes from the 8 unidentified players, anonymous contributions, Manny Machado has a big presence in this clubhouse, not a leader. That's what they said. Broken clubhouse, leadership void, no unity, lack of fight, not wanted bad enough. They said they had 8 clubhouse meetings during the course of the season through the rough times. Nothing ever came of it. No condemnation from anybody anonymously towards the general manager, A.J. Preller. No condemnation towards the manager, Bob Melvin, anonymously. But you have to read between the lines. Clubhouse roster that does not fit very well, John. Add into the equation the fact that the manager seemed tied up in knots, inability to execute what the manager had to execute in terms of game strategy, or in terms of something deeper, dealing when the players are not doing very well or not carrying out what he wants done. John, I thought it was a great article. I think it was things that had to be said. This is the end of a wasted season. I don't care that they've won 4 in a row. They beat the worst team on the planet in the Oakland Athletics. Doesn't mean anything. There's still 20 games out of first place as they come home for what's going to be really the final homestand of the season. Your reaction to the comments, your reaction to what you read.
Just a number of things. I mean, first of all, it does generally confirm what we've all suspected, that there's something going on behind the curtain. I mean, because it's inexplicable how these players can be playing so poorly. Now, is Manny a presence? Yes. Is Manny the leader? Sorta. I mean, but I just thought it was a little bit unfair to kind of be the heavy on Manny. I mean, Manny goes out there every day, plays more games than probably anybody in baseball, but they're looking for him to be, Johnny Hustle, the cheerleader guy, and that's just not in his makeup. So it makes you wonder, Nelson Cruz was supposed to be the leader. He's gone. But the other remarkable part of all this is that Bob Melvin now suddenly has the flexibility to manage his roster and his lineup the way he wants, because Preller and his boys are backing off. And now Melvin's showing him how he can make it work. So I don't know. I read the whole thing and I thought it does explain things. Acee's doing his digging, but Acee's always been kind of a, what's the right word? When he was the beat reporter for the Chargers, he was the the ownership boy, that kind of towed the company line. I'm not sure what he's doing here.
Well, some would use the word agenda. My gut feel is this story has to be covered in depth. Front office is not talking to anybody. The coaches have not been allowed to have any dealings with the media at all. It's a closed shop. End of the day, it's A.J. Preller's team, A.J. Preller's roster, A.J. Preller's contracts. There has to be accountability at the end of the season for what this turns out to be. Just really, really poor. So that's where we are with the makeup with the Padres as they limp home. I'll be interested to see how many empty seats there are the final homestand. The giveaways are over with. Winning is obviously no longer a factor.
Well, what's accountability? I mean, what do you expect Peter Seidler to do here? I mean, if you were king for a day, what would you do to hold these guys accountable?
Because of the contract Peter Seidler gave the general manager, he's not going to fire Preller and eat 4 years of a contract. Melvin's on a contract. I don't think he'll be the fall guy. They're going to have to retool, retrench the bottom of the roster. Burning question, do they trade Soto? Would they dare entertain an offer from Machado? Obviously, they got to fix the back end of the roster. They got to go get more players. And now there has to really be some concern, John, just about the physical wear and tear that all these starts over the last group of years is the toll it's taken on Yu Darvish and Joe Musgrove. They have a huge offseason ahead of them. But if you're asking me, I don't think they're going to blow up the front office or blow out the manager. I do think they're going to have to make some significant roster changes. But that's another topic for another
Right.
podcast aside from our Monday bonus podcast. We go from that story